boats on plane, and they'll start coming out of the milling area following the pace boat. But as I was saying earlier on, the story of today is going to be these rough seas. We probably will not expect to see some fast average speeds here today, but it is most likely going to be a matter of survival to get these boats through these rough racing conditions. And it has become official that they are running the storm course. That is going to be the shorter distance. They're not going to be running as many legs, as many miles, and they will be running a short storm course here today due to the rough racing conditions. We've got Charlie Marks, Eric's Reality right there in the middle of the picture, and on the outside of Charlie Marks right there, it's Don Johnson's team's USA. Very rough racing conditions right now. Should be a slight edge for some of these big deep V Apache hulls that you see right there in your picture. Could be a little rougher on some of the cats who do shine in some of the calmer racing conditions, but we'll have to wait and see how things unfold here today. Eric's Reality in the middle of your picture. Now coming from the other side of the field, we've got Gary Johnson and Tom Russell in Freeze Frames Helicopter 2, Manning Camera 2, to bring you to starboard side of this race course. And looking the other way, right there you have the pace boat, and then we have Don Johnson's team's USA. Gentry's boat is right there. Eric's Reality on the inside of him. RDS, Little Caesars, and Lucky Strike now on the far outside of the pack. Yellow flag is up on the pace boat. Now looking the other way, that's Charlie Marks, Eric's Reality. Relatively clean right now. Everyone is on plane. That's John Antonelli's Spirit of America coming up alongside the pace boat. We've got the green flag, and we do Pizza, Eric's Reality, Gentry, Team USA, and Spirit of America on the far outside. And on the inside right here, that is RDS. Boat number 89, RDS Race Team. It's a 45-foot Apache powered by 3 870 horsepower Carolina racing motors with Keycamper outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Stephen Baldwin of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Gary Smith is his navigator, and Keith Hazel is on the throttles. RDS had a very good campaign for 89. They finished in 3rd place in the Superboat class for 89, so they'd certainly like to have a very good week of racing here. They've always been in the lead packs throughout the 89 campaign, so they have had a consistent run all year, and they've really got it together here for this week of racing, and they certainly want to try to improve. Their main competition will be Eric's Reality, Little Caesars Pizza, Lucky Strike, Totally Awesome, from the United States entries, and of course you've got all those European boats who will be charging hard also. Stephen Baldwin's RDS Race Team in a head-to-head battle with Little Caesars Pizza and Eric's Reality. There you get a close-up look at that boat. Keith Hazel's doing a great job on the throttles right now, and this boat seems to be dialed in quite nicely. You see right there, they've got a slight lead over Charlie Marks' Eric's Reality, and they seem to be gaining ground on Little Caesars Pizza right now. Now we come up on another one of the super boats. They'll be dueling all day with RDS. Boat number 45, the Lucky Strike Race Team. This is a 47-foot Apache powered by 3 825 horsepower Chevrolet inboard motors with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned and driven by Phil Mashinsky of Watchung, New York. Navigating today is Bud Millinghausen, and Jeff Millinghausen is on the throttles. Millinghausen and Mashinsky making up the Lucky Strike race team. Lucky Strike, overall in 89, they finished in 4th place behind RDS in 89, so they would love to have a good week of racing here today, and they're definitely in the hunt for things right now with Eric's Reality, Little Caesars Pizza, RDS, who we just highlighted, and Lucky Strike is looking very good right here at this point in the race. Now we come up on boat number 115. This is John Antonelli's brand new Spirit of America race team. This is a sleek 46-foot Jaguar powered by 3 700-horsepower Carolina inboard motors with key camper outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by John Antonelli of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Robert DeCure is your navigator, and Jack Clark is on throttles. Spirit of America's open boat finished 4th overall this year behind Special Edition Hawk Marine Power and Mellons in the open class. But right now, this is John Antonelli's brand new Jaguar race hull that he's brought out for the Superboat competition, and it's looking very strong right now. You've seen some of the other competitions, so we expect some very tight racing overall in the Superboat category. But John Antonelli, along with Clark on the throttles, certainly has what it takes to be a dominating week of racing for them. This is a black 41-foot Cougar powered by twin 700-horsepower KSW Offshore Engineering inboard motors with Arneson outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Masakazu Kabayashi from Nishiki, Japan. Jun Kabayashi is your navigator, and Gus Falcone, a familiar name in offshore powerboat racing, is your throttle man, who is from Florida. The open class, the UIM-1, I should say, is comprised of 25 boats. This makes it the largest class ever to run in a World Offshore Powerboat Championship. There's got some tough competition for the Bengal Bay Club here today. Dirty Laundry, Hawk Marine Power. There's many Italian entries. Lord Piana, Castella Bancia, Mellons, who we saw before, Marini Bianco, Warlord, Berguda, Bella, Bemorai, and many, many more. And of course, you've got Chairman of the Board, John D'Elia, Special Edition, defending champion. Kaiser Systems is here. Gancia del Gancia is here, a very familiar boat. Power Marine, Italia Go, and many, many more. This is definitely an international fleet in the UIM-1 class. And Falcone doing a fantastic job on the throttles, as he's done for so many years for many boats that he's been involved with. From Atlantic City and the World Champions from Japan, it is the Bengal Bay Club. Bengal Bay Club still looking good right now. Now we come up on another UIM-1 boat. This is Hawk Marine Power. It is a 35-foot Jaguar powered by 2 700-horsepower Hawk inboard motors with key for outdrives. Driver of record is Mandy Fernandez. Mandy owns this boat. Today is being driven by John Tomlinson from Miami, Florida, who's also doing the navigating, and Mandy Fernandez is on throttles. Hawk Marine Power, they had a very good year. They finished in 2nd place behind Special Edition in the open class this year, so Mandy would really like to overtake him in the World Champions. Right there, you get an idea of just how rough it is. You've got 6-foot seas right now, so these boats are certainly taking a pounding right now. These boats accustomed to running to 90 to 100 miles per hour are right now running in the mid-50s, maybe approaching the low 60s due to the rough sea conditions. There you get an idea. Every other wave, they're definitely taking a pounding. The boats come off very slowly. You can't push it right here. You just get an idea of how strong these seas are. You try to get a rhythm as best you can. You might catch one right, but then you could hit one wrong. And that's what all these boat racers try to avoid. But as you can control, because that's all these open water ocean is going to give you here today. And Fernandez, very accomplished racer, is doing a great job on the throttles. And coming up on the outside of Mendy Fernandez is the Samurai race team. Hawk Marine is in a duel with Dirty Laundry, all the Italian entries who you heard before, and many of the other boats. Bengal Bay Club is also dueling with Hawk right now. The Hawk race team has had a very good crew throughout the year, and Mandy would like to extend a special thanks to Buddy and Larry from Hawk, who've done a great job, and Craig Barry from Cigarette, who's also lent a lot of help and expertise to making this a successful winning race team. Doing an excellent job on the throttles. We've gotten over race control radio right now, but some of the boats who took an early lead in the UIM1 start are out of the race for rounding the Coast Guard boat instead of the checkpoint boat. So that is a tough break already for some of the racers. Right now we come up on Joe Mack's boat number 2, known as Dirty Laundry. This is a 37-foot Cougar powered by two 800 horsepower Lightning inboard motors with Kike for outdrive. This boat is owned and driven by Joe Mack from St. Louis, Missouri, and Smitty is on throttles. The Dirty Laundry race team. They're in a big hunt right now and a hard challenge with Mendy Fernandez's Hawk Marine Power, who we just saw, and some of the Italian boats. Lord Viana is there, and Castella Gancia, as well as Mellons, are dueling in the top few places right now in UIM1. However, it is very difficult right now to get an idea of who's in first place, second, or whatever, because they're strewn all over the race course, and we've had some boats disqualified who were previously in the lead. We don't have all of them yet, but we've heard already that SDA, Achille Motors, Kappa, to name a few, have already been disqualified for a wrong turn earlier on. So that is going to open up the door for some of the other drivers. Joe Mack coming up and passing Samurai. Neck and neck as they round the checkpoint, heading towards the next point here in the storm course. The seas are very rough, but Smitty's doing an excellent job of throttling nonetheless. Joe Mack coming in on the inside. He's come in on the inside of the race course, and he's going to has to go around and go back around that checkpoint. A tough break there for Joe Mack as he rounded that checkpoint. He has to go all the way around now, come back around, and resume on course, which he has done, and he's now underway. He's got some ground to make up, so he's certainly going all out right here. Smitty's going to put it down and give it all she's got, as best as this boat can do in these rough water racing conditions. We wish them all the best. There you see some of the other boats who is out, probably retired already, with some engine or mechanical difficulty. Campaign. And with one motor running, it is going to be very difficult for him to place high in today's race. However, with the high attrition that all the boats are faced with, if Nuri can keep this boat in contention and finish and get some points, don't forget there are 2 more days of racing, so Nuri still could be in the hunt for a championship at the end of the week. So Sabucci, certainly a strategist, knows what to do. There you've got Warlord, who has had a bit of a problem and has beached himself up on the beach off the coast of Atlantic City. There you get an idea of the rough seas that they're up against, and Warlord has been a casualty of this racing condition and is on the beach. Now we come up on boat number 60, Eric's Reality. It is a 48-foot Cougar powered by 4 850 horsepower Gentry American Eagle inboards with Kike for outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Charles Marks from Potomac, Maryland. Charles, who is also doing the navigation, and Joey Impressure from New York is your throttle man. This is certainly a tough crew right now with Marks and Impressure. Eric's Reality, they won the Superboat division this year. So they are definitely one of the odds-on favorites to win the World Championships in this class. But the competition, as you know, is very, very tough. He's in a hunt with RDS and Little Caesars Pizza, Jesse James, Lucky Strike, Spirit of America, Johnson's Teams USA, Popeye Cesa, Gentry Turbo Eagle, and Mr. Roberts are all in this class. Some dominating racers, but Charles Marks dominated the Superboat Class 489, and with the addition of Joey and Pressure on throttles, it's certainly going to make Eric's Reality a tough boat to beat. However, he's in a strong duel with RDS and Little Caesars Pizza at this point in the race. From Eric's Reality, we now come up on boat 90I, Italia Go Grana Padano. This is a 40-foot CUV powered by two 800-horsepower Isotta Fraschini inboards with a Nuxi CUV system. This boat is owned by Team SG Cesura. Driving today, you've got Kazi Patrizio from Cremona, Italy, navigating Cesura, Giuseppe, and on throttles, Mesato Minatogoya doing the throttling for this team right now. One of the many Italian entries here today. They've got some very sophisticated equipment that has been developed over in Europe, some things that we have not seen over here in the United States racing circuit. So it's certainly been interesting as we walked around the pits earlier on this morning. Look at some of this high-tech equipment, and this Nuxi CUV system is part of what makes this boat do very well. In Grana Padano at this point in the race. Very strong run, and we wish him all the best for the weekend racing. Now we come up on a very unfortunate sight. We certainly hope there's no problems here. This is boat number 83, Paul Picot. They have had some problems. It seems as if the race crew has gotten away from the boat and has been picked up by the medical emergency staff. We certainly hope everyone is okay in that race crew. As you can see, it is a tough day of racing, and right there, that picture symbolizes what these rough seas can do out here today, and we certainly hope the crew of Paul Picot is safe and sound. Fletcher doing a fine job in Diesel Dancer. And there on the far outside, still hanging with Diesel Dancer, the Abel race team. Abel taking a slight lead, maybe a boat length or two at the max, over Diesel Dancer right now. Obviously way too early to call, but I'd imagine that these two boats are going to go right down to the wire before we get to the finish of today's race. Abel and Diesel Dancer, head-to-head competition off the shore of Atlantic City. Championships. Right here we're going to go with P27, off to a quick early lead. It's Risky Business. It's a 32-foot skater powered by three 270 Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and driven by Stephen Dorsich from Tahoe Paradise, California. And on throttles, we've got John Bruno. And on the outside right there, that was Felix Sorales' Miss Don Q Rum, who also had a good year. Miss Don Q and Risky Business went at it fiercely throughout the '89 campaign. And today promises to be no different, as you see in your picture. On the outside, that's Felix Sorales' Miss Don Q Rum in the outside, but high risk. Foreseeing the challenge, taking it and going ahead right now. Dorsich doing a fine job in Risky Business as he meets the challenge put up by Miss Don Q Rum and just pushes ahead. Great racing right here by Risky Business. Joe Mack's Dirty Laundry is still having a good day as he is leading right now over Mandy Fernandez's Hawk Marine Special in the UIM 1 class. Abel and Diesel Dancer still going head-to-head in UIM 2. Now we come up on another boat in the Pro Stock division. This is Concrete Cat. It is a P15. It's a 32-foot Hydrotech race hull with three 260 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned and driven by Ray H. Tresh from Mullica Hill, New Jersey. Mitch Brodkin is your navigator, and Doug Lewis is the throttle man. They're the 1988 World Cup Northeast Division and North American champion, as well as the New Jersey Governor's Cup champion. So Concrete Cat has had a relatively good year for '89. In some races that they've entered in here in the Northeast, they took a first in Newburyport and a first in Rochester, New York. So Concrete Cat has had a good year. They want to come out and have a good week of racing. But as you saw, they're going to be locked in a fierce battle also with Risky Business and Miss Don Q Rum, who are running 1-2 in class right now. But Concrete Cat will have to hold off challenges being mounted by Talon Comp 37, High Risk, Hydrotech Powerboats, Team Skater, the hard-charging Euromarine Special, and many others who are entered here today. So Tresh, along with Brooken and Lewis, who make up the Concrete Cat race team, certainly have their work cut out for them here today. They'll be dueling for the rest of the week with these boats. They'd like a strong finish here today because they know the competition will be tough. Now we come up on P16, Euromarine Special. There's a 30-foot Chris Cat powered by 3 Mercury outboard motors. This boat is sponsored by Euromarine Yachts Limited and Total Yacht Sales. This boat is owned by Tommy Caruso from Amerenik, New York, who is doing the throttling today, and Charlie Jelnick is your driver. Euromarine Special, they're taking the 3rd in Freeport in the Northeast Circuit this year. They came on the campaign about mid-season. They've had some relatively good success. They run very strong. They've had a few mechanical gremlins, but they feel they've got them worked out. One of the additions to the crew, their head chief crew member, Jeff DiMartino, came aboard mid-year, did a fine job with them. There you see some of the rough waters that Euromarine Special is going through right now. Very choppy portion of the course right here. You see the swells and the big waves. Jelnick and Caruso have to slow down a bit because it is very tough racing right now, but they are persevering through this rough sea conditions. As we said earlier on, Jeff DiMartino, who is the chief crew member, came aboard with this team and did a fine job in helping to rig the boat. He is the executive in offshore rigging. Executive rigging, they like to refer to him as. And also helping out is Rich Lamterzier and Dave Schulman, who have done a great job also preparing this boat. The entire crew, as well as myself, would like to extend a special and speedy recovery to Jeff DiMartino, who just recently, before the World Championships, unfortunately was in a fatal car accident, but he has come out of it. The doctors say he is going to be okay, and the entire crew of Euromarine Special would like to wish Jeff DiMartino a very speedy recovery, as well as everyone here at Freeze Frame Video. We've got the green flag and we are racing. That's Island Runner and Lethal Weapon going out to the early lead. That's Warrior coming up for the challenge. Warrior going by Island Runner and Lethal Weapon. And that's Predator on the far outside, staying with his packs. So we've got Island Runner, Lethal Weapon, Predator, and Warrior, who's unofficially taking the quick lead. Very clean start. That's Lethal Weapon in the middle of your picture. Predator is on the outside of Lethal Weapon. Island Runner in the center of your picture. And Warrior is the lead, taking the lead over all competitors at the present time. Now we come up on D55, the boat known as Island Runner Race Team. There's a 41-foot Apache powered by twin Stotler inboard motors with 800 horsepower apiece and Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned and throttled by Frank Kerbeck of Atlantic City. Herb Stotler is your driver from Fort Lauderdale. Al Chapchian from Atlantic City is your navigator. And your crew chief is Mike Roshko. This boat is sponsored by Kerbeck dealerships right here in Atlantic City. They are the exclusive dealerships of Lamborghini, Rolls-Royce, Bentley, Cadillacs, Pontiac, Chevrolet, Mitsubishi, Saab, and they're all located right here in Atlantic City. So basically, the Island Runner Race Team is a local favorite here from Atlantic City. Frank Kerbeck, heading up this race crew, has done a fine job. This year, locally, he's taken a second in Buffalo and a second in Annapolis, Maryland on the divisional circuit. come up on boat number D72, the Riva Photo race team. There's a 33-foot fountain race hull powered by two 750-horsepower Mansour machine inboards with Keykefer outdrives. This boat is owned by Dave Windmiller from Brooklyn, New York, who is your driver of record as well as the throttleman today. John Henry Falk from New York is your driver, and Philip Salvatore from Brooklyn is the navigator. Dave Windmiller would like to extend a special thanks to Pierre Mansour for all he has done for this race team throughout the entire race season with his excellent engines that has enabled Riva Photo to have a very good '89 campaign. Riva Photo is sounding very strong right now. They're off to a very good start, and they seem to be taking the rough water very well in this fountain hull. And the Mansour machine inboards that they've got today are really doing the job. So let's look for big things from Riva Photo. Dave Windmiller would love to have a big race here today. He knows it's a one-shot deal. 50 miles is all she writes today, and he's going all out today to try to get the checkered flag and be the champ in Sportsman D. Foot Apache powered by twin Stotler inboards, 800 horsepower piece. And on the outside of Predator, that is Island Runner. We're running in the early morning, and we are looking into the sun, which does present some of the darker lighting conditions. We apologize for that, but there's nothing we can do about that condition. But the story right now is the racing. These Stotler motors are really doing the job. Island Runner on the outside, Predator on the inside. The Predator race team is owned by Ed Toth from Sellsville, Pennsylvania, who is also on throttle. Spacer Toth, his son, is the driver. Your navigator is Lindsay Peary from New Jersey, and Helen Toth, the wife, is the head crew member of this team. I'd like to extend a special thanks to the sponsors, Rex Hyde Automotive and Fram Bendix, who have done a great job in making this '89 campaign all possible for the Predator race team. They're sounding very strong right now, and here they are trying to overcome the challenge being put on by Island Runner. Island Runner came up on the outside, but Toth is hanging tough in his Predator race team, and he is rising to the occasion. This Apache race hull slices through the rough water, as you can see, and these Stotler motors are really doing the job. From Atlantic City, New Jersey, in the World Championships, it's Ed Toth's Predator race team. Team. There's a 32-foot Performer Cobra powered by two GM fuel-injected motors, 750 horsepower apiece. This boat is owned and driven by Sam Miller. Bill Carney is on throttles, and Tim Sedney is your navigator. Joel Hurt is the crew chief. I would like to extend a special thanks to the secretary, Sherry Ellen Murray, who've done a fine job in assisting the Gold Rush race team. Right now, they're looking very strong on this race course, and they are dueling with Warrior, Hawk Marine Power, trying to hold off Riva Photo, Rascal, and Island Runner, who you saw earlier on. The Gold Rush race team has had a very strong '89 campaign, and there's a few people that they'd like to thank. The engines are built by Joel Engineering, who's a custom motor builder. And I'd like to extend a special thanks to Brad Getz and Robert Helsel from Performance Products. The sponsors for the Gold Rush race team are Rum Runners and Bayshore Marine, home of Gold Rush Racing, Erie Petroleum for supplying Valvoline racing oil, and Lakeshore Auto Sales for supplying racing fuel for the '89 campaign, Busick Ferraro Ford, and RB Sales and Service. Bolt Machinery and PHB Incorporated in Fairview, Pennsylvania, the Bel Air Hotel, Doctors DeMarco and Yeagerman of Modern Tool Building, Shaw TV and Appliance, French Creek Tavern, Auto Works Car Care, and they'd like to extend a special thanks to anyone that they forgot to mention that helped make Gold Rush get off to a great '89 campaign. Now we come up on D3, the Rascal Race Team. This is a 40-foot custom-made aluminum hull. This boat is powered by there it is, Rascal Race Team, and there you see that aluminum-plated hull, a very innovative boat. We'll get into this in a little while. This boat is powered by 2 Chevy inboard motors with Merc Cruiser drives, 850 horsepower apiece. This boat is owned and driven by Frank Sichow from Menzor, Ohio. On throttles, he's got Scott Smith from Ohio and Dave Grubvac is your navigator, also from Ohio. Now we're going to come up on C5, Finish Line Race Team. This is a 30-foot Chris craft powered by 2 Bandit racing engines with 500 horsepower apiece. This boat is owned by Jimmy Della Terza and Joe Calabro. Driving today is Joe Gartaza. Joe Calabro is on throttles. Your crew chief is Jimmy Della Terza. This is Benzel Bush's Finish Line. They're the 1986 Northeast Champion runner-up. They're the kilo record holder at 90.54 miles per hour in B class. They would like to extend a special thanks to their entire crew, friends, and sponsors for all the support that helped make Finish Line have a very strong and competitive '89 campaign. Now we come up on C41, the Pipeline Express Race Team. There's a 30-foot Shadow Cat powered by twin 500 horsepower Chevy inboard motors with Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by Robert E. Shug from Lavallette, New Jersey, who is your driver of record and the driver in today's race. David Koch is your navigator, and Rich Dancision from Toms River, New Jersey is on throttles. They also enjoyed a good '89 campaign. They had a first at Newburyport, a first at Point Pleasant, a second at Freeport, and they've been dueling all year as they are today with Benzel Bush's Finish Line, who you just saw. Pipeline Express unofficially in second place, trailing Finish Line in Sportsman C at this stage of the race. They are the 1985 APBA National Champ, the 1984 NPBA Champ, and the New Jersey Governor's Cup. So they have quite an illustrious race history behind them for the Pipeline Express race team. we come up on Lady L B22. It's a 28-foot signature powered by a single 500 horsepower Chevy inboard motor with a Merc Cruiser outdrive. This boat is owned by Peter Meyer from Point Washington, New York. Anthony Lecaro is your driver, Pete Meyer is on throttle, and Thomas Lampus is your navigator. They'd like to extend a special thanks to their sponsors, Shore Refrigeration, Tops Point Marina, Manhasset Bay Marina, Fred from Can 2, Weaver Super Service from Mobile Oil, and a special thanks to Mr. and Mrs. Lampus for all their help, and Guy LaMotta and the Montauk Yacht Club. So now, with fever down on the race course, Lady L has moved into first place in Sportsman B. This is certainly a good turn of fortune for Peter Meyer's Lady L race team, and a bad stroke of luck for Joe Scrow and Joe Latona. But knowing those two in fever, they should get that boat going again. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But right now, Peter Meyer is seizing this opportunity and trying to put as much distance between himself and the fever race team. Peter Meyer's Lady L race team having a good run so far in Atlantic City, and he's doing an excellent job on the throttles, as you can hear. The Lady L race team. Now we come up on B79, Team Scarab. There's a 31-foot Scarab powered by two 500 horsepower Innovation Marine inboards and Merc Cruiser outdrives. This boat is owned by Jim Gregg of Arcadia, Florida. Craig Buchanan from Brigantine, New Jersey is your driver. Wayne Wyckoff from Bradenton, Florida is your navigator. And Brett Archer from Bradenton, Florida is on throttle. Team Scarab, they're locked in a fierce battle in Sportsman B with Kamikaze right now, who you just saw earlier on. Team Scarab would like to extend a special thanks to Wellcraft High Performance and Team Scarab of Ventura, California. This is only the fourth race that this boat has been in, and it looks like they're off to a very good start in this race. And they certainly hope to take what they've picked up in the '89 campaign and put it to good use as they come back for a very strong and aggressive challenge for the 1990 season that Team Scarab will be mounting in the divisional races. From Atlantic City, New Jersey, it's Jim Craig's Team Scarab race team. Now we're coming up on B7, the Predator race team. They just recently stopped for the Yes Express, who was in a very serious accident. So our hats off go to the great sportsmanship displayed by the Predator race team. This boat is a 27-foot Predator race hull powered by two Chevrolet inboard motors and Merc Cruiser drive. This boat is owned and throttled by Dan Humes from Mount Clemens, Michigan. Darrell Walter is your driver from Mount Clemens. Mark Walter from Washington, Michigan is your navigator. Mark Zach Piasek is the chief crew member, along with Mike Langro, Danny Krositz, and Roger Nemec round out the crew for the Predator race team. They've had a great '89 campaign. They're undefeated. They've had 7 wins, 6 regional championships, are the Great Lakes Trophy winners. What more can we say? They've just dominated in '89, the Predator race team. They would like to extend a very special thanks to Doug Schultz, who's the crew chief and engine builder, and to their great list of sponsors who have helped make Predator have a great campaign. Predator Boats of Mount Clemens, Michigan. Pepper's Nightclub from Mount Clemens. R.A. Vandeveld and Associates, also from Mount Clemens. The rules state that they could be awarded the place that they were in when they did help the boat that did have the accident. And at the time, they were in first place. So if everything holds up this way, they could be awarded first place, which would certainly be a nice way to end a very successful '89 race campaign for the Predator race team. Now we come up on A115, second to none. It's a 30-foot all-red Checkmate, powered by two 300 horsepower Mercury inboard motors with Merc Cruiser Bravo outdrives. This boat is owned by Mark Tangus from Holmdel, New Jersey, who is also on throttles. Driving today is Tom Sugar from Wantagh, New York, and Doc Sanfilippo is your chief crew member. Mark owns North Jersey AR Service Trucking. He's a 5-year veteran on the circuit, and Tommy from Tomahawk Interiors is sponsoring the interior. Not only do we have Tomahawk Interiors on the sponsorship, you've also got RPM Motors and Kurtz Marine. At the present time, second to none is in a very fierce duel with Snakebite. They're presently running in first place, just slightly ahead of Snakebite, who is slightly ahead of MRD. The race is starting to draw to its final stages, so we certainly hope things do work out for these races. There's no tomorrow. They must go all out. They realize this, and Mark's got this boat going full throttle. Second to none is now holding off the hard-charging Snakebite, who's in second place. We certainly wish second to none all the best, and we hope they do not finish second to anyone. So with that, from Atlantic City in the World Championships, it's second to none, running in first place in A-class. Well, the 1989 Trump Castle World Championship from Atlantic City, New Jersey for the divisional boats is officially in the record book. And here are your final results. In Sportsman A, second to none took first place, followed by Rich Mercedes Snakebite in second, and MRD took third place. The winner had an average speed of 46.10 miles per hour, Snakebite 44.72, and MRD in third place with 42.24 miles per hour. Sportsman B was very interesting. Fever was leading the race, but he had some mechanical problems, so he broke down and took second place. After he broke, Lady L went into first place, who was having a good run, but Predator, who stopped for Yes Express, who had an accident, was in first place at the time, and the rules state that if you stop to help an accident driver, you are awarded the position you were in at the time of the accident. So therefore, Predator and Lady L tie for first place. Joe Scrow takes second place in Fever, and Kamikaze gets third place in Sportsman B. Lady L had an average speed of 61 miles per hour, Predator 50 miles per hour, and Fever 56 miles per hour. In Sportsman C, Robert Shuggs Pipeline Express with an average speed of 61.02 miles per hour took first place. Finish Line, which dominated the race in Sportsman C, broke down near the finish, thus allowing Pipeline to take first place, took second place, and Endangered Species took third place. In Sportsman D, Warrior, headed up by Rolando Plaga, took first place with 74.96 miles per hour average speed. Hawk Marine Power, throttled by Mandy Fernandez, took second place with a 74.56 miles per hour, and Gold Rush, headed up by Sam Miller with an average speed of 60 miles per hour, took third place. Those are your final results for the 1989 Trump Castle World Championships in the divisional categories. Now we come up on Your champion from 1989, John D'Elia's Special Edition Race Team, US1. This is a 35-foot Jaguar powered by two 750-horsepower Mercruiser inboards with Mercruiser drives. This boat is owned by D'Elia Pontiac of Greenwich, Connecticut. John D'Elia from Cos Cob is your driver, and J.D., his son, J.D. D'Elia, is on throttles. They had a fantastic 89 campaign, taking the overall championship in the open class on the national level this year. However, they have not met with such good fortune here this week in racing. They did not finish in Tuesday's race, so they certainly hope to avenge that here today. They know what this boat has. They are defending champions, so they certainly know what it's all about to come out strong. The seas are calmer. They feel very confident this morning when we met with them, so we certainly hope they have a fine run today, and we wish them all the best. The competition, once again, is so competitive in UIM1. You've got so many boats. Earlier on, you saw Dirty Laundry, Achille Motors, Gancha de Gancha, Mandy Fernandez's Hawk Marine Power, Mellon's, who was a very tough boat recently, Samurai, and many, many more. So Special Edition really has his work cut out for him, and as he's dueled all year with Joe Mack's Dirty Laundry, he's got to go for it here today. You saw him come very close to a spectator boat right there, a little close on the race course. Certainly hope that gets straightened out. But right now, John D'Elia, along with J.D., US1, 1989 national champions in the UIM1 class, are trying to run very strong right now. They seem very competitive, and we wish them all the best here today in the final leg of the 89 World Championships from Atlantic City. For Mandy Fernandez's Hawk Marine Power. So with that, we certainly wish him all the best. Mandy does a great job on throttles, as you can hear. He's been a great race competitor for so many years. Who could forget his memorable rides in the Dam Carrara race team and some other rides that he's caught on with. But now Mandy has his own team, a new boat here, and it's Hawk Marine Power, headed up by Mandy Fernandez. We wish him all the best. He's a good friend of Freeze Frame Video, and we wish him all the best. And that's Achille Motors, one of the Italian boats, coming right up alongside Fernandez's Hawk Marine Power. They're now rounding the checkpoint. Good bit of action as Achille Motors comes right into the picture. But Mandy Fernandez responds, puts that throttle right down as he rounds the checkpoint, and he's in the hunt as he tracks down Achille Motors. So with that, we'd like to wish Mandy Fernandez all the best from Atlantic City. Mandy Fernandez's Hawk Marine Power. Now we come up on Miss Don Q Rum. This is a 32-foot Douglas skater powered by three 265-horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Felix J. Sorales from Mercadito, Puerto Rico. Driving today is Juan Sorales. Felix does the throttles, and Felix is also your driver of record. Miss Don Q Rum, they took a second place on Tuesday, where they were locked in a very fierce battle with Risky Business that went on pretty much for the entire race. So we'll have to see how things go today for him, but right now he is running very strong. He's already got a second place from Tuesday, so a good finish here today. He could become your world champion. He is already your national champion in the Pro Stock competition, where he held off High Risk, First Offense, Ocean Outboard, and Risky Business. So Felix Sorales really has his act together. He had a fantastic 89 campaign. He had a good race on Tuesday. So he certainly is a model offshore powerboat racer of consistency for this year. And at the present time, he is running very strong, and he's holding off all challenges being made by High Risk, Risky Business, and Talon Comp 37, as well as Euromarine Special at the present time. Down the field of boats. Everyone's on plane now and starting to get up to speed. In just moments away, the starter will be dropping the green flag and will be officially underway here today for the battle on the seas. Great shot right there. We've got the green flag and we are underway. High risk on the inside. First defense going to a slight lead, so high risk dropping back. First defense, risky business. Team Skater and Hydra going right out. Talon coming into the picture. That's Team Skater taking a quick lead. Going out with him is First Defense and Risky Business. Risky Business right there in the middle of your picture. That's First Defense looking very strong. We've got a very good start. Many boats jumping right out. Team Skater, First Defense, Risky Business. Hydra's looking good. Team Skater. Everyone is off to a very fast start. Now we come up on Talon Comp 37. This is a 37-foot Talon powered by three 260 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Gary Armington of Sarasota, Florida, who's also doing the throttles. And driving today is Rich Middleton, also of Sarasota. So the crew of Armington and Middleton making up the Talon Comp 37, P26. Talon Comp looking very good. Very comfortable in their race boat right now. On the very far outside of the race course, that's Risky Business, who we saw earlier on. And Wild Turkey on the outside of Risky Business. The very far outside, we've got Wild Turkey, Risky Business, and right now we're running with P26, Talon Comp 37. Now we come up on another P-boat, P27, Risky Business. A little bit of a jump right there, slows them down momentarily, but they get back on plane and they're running very strong once again. Certainly gets the respect of the racers very quickly when you have a jump like that. P27, Risky Business, running on the outside of Talon Comp 37. There you see the gap between Risky Business and Talon Comp. Risky Business going all out to close some of that distance. P27, Risky Business. It's a 32-foot skater catamaran powered by three 270 Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Stephen Dorsich from Tahoe Paradise, California. George Gill is your driver, and on throttles, it's John Bruno, also from Tahoe Paradise, California. The Risky Business race team. Risky Business and Talon Comp 37, but right now it's a fierce battle for 4th and 5th place between Wild Turkey right there on the inside and First Defense on the outside of him. Let's highlight Wild 30. It's P35. It's a 30-foot Chris Cat powered by two 650 horsepower Engine Tech Chevrolet motors with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned and driven by Frank Latch of Fairfield, New Jersey. Frank is also doing the throttling here today. Frank would like to extend a special thanks to Joe and Gary of Engine Tech. He'd also like to thank Lee Donovan and a very special thank to his girlfriend Suzanne for all her patience and support in enabling Frank to come out here and do what he enjoys doing this entire year, and that's race offshore powerboats. Frank Latch Jr. is driving today, and Frank Latch himself is doing the throttling. Great battle going on right now with First Defense on the outside and Frank Latch's Wild Turkey on the inside. Frank Latch, a seasoned veteran who's been involved in so many exciting offshore powerboat races all the years. Who can forget the memorable campaigns he had with Gino Montrone's and Instant Air Freight? And right now, he's taken command of this boat under the banner of Wild Turkey Race Team, and it's all Frank Latch's dream, doing what he's doing right now. He heads up the team, and it's a very competitive professional race team. P35, the Wild Turkey Race Team, and right there you saw him in a fierce battle with First Defense. First Defense made a move, Frank Latch responded, and was able to hold off First Defense. Now we come up on C34, the Panther Race Team. This is a 30-foot well-craft with custom race hull powered by 500 horsepower Stotler Performance engines of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and is sponsored by Al's Custom Interiors, Billows Electric Supply, and Summit Truck Service. This boat is owned and throttled by John Stanch of Pennsauken, New Jersey. Todd Owen is your driver, and Mike Macaluso is your navigator. C34, the Panther Race Team, is your 1987 Northeast Divisional Champion in Sportsman C class with owner John Stanch of Pennsauken, New Jersey at the throttles. John Stanch is well-known as one of the more intense competitors on the circuit this year. And on his last outing, he unfortunately bent his throttles in half, going for a win. He doesn't cut any slack in the rough stuff, as you can see right here. This boat is running extremely strong. The driver today is Todd Owen of Washington, D.C., who is known as the fastest attorney in offshore. Todd Owen is on loan from the Lucky Strike Offshore Racing Team, where he serves a triple role as co-driver, riding crew member, and team attorney on Lucky Strike Superboat number 45. I'm sure these two boats will be running this way, either 1-2 or the other way around, with Hawk being in first place throughout the day. Just as they are at the start of the race, we expect to see them running 1-2 at the end of the race. And right now, Fernandez and Colombo are starting to close the gap between themselves and Stuart Haim and J.D. D'Elia in recovery. Hawk is definitely trying to make a move. Recovery knows they're there. They have to try to hold off the hard-charging Hawk Marine power. He's definitely made his move. He's pulled up even, and he is now alongside Recovery and passing Recovery. A great run being mounted by Hugo Colombo and Mandy Fernandez's Hawk Race Team as they overtake Stuart Haim and J.D. D'Elia in Recovery Race Team. Marine is certainly not extending a long lead over Recovery. Two very tightly contested boats right now. Almost neck and neck, too close to call. Very evenly matched boats. Recovery on the outside, Hawk Marine on the inside. Stuart Haim, Hugo Colombo, J.D. D'Elia against Mandy Fernandez. Those are your matchups right now, and it's certainly a great battle. Stuart Haim has risen to the challenge, and he now has overtaken Hawk Marine. Great duel going on right now in the Pro Open class. Fernandez and Colombo coming up alongside Heyman D'Elia. It's been going on all day, and I'm sure it will be like this all the way to the end. Two very competitive boats coming right by each other, side by side, racing at over 80 miles per hour. Pizza and Team USA are all battling head-to-head right now. Now we come up on boat number M10, the boat known as Agitator. They're running in the Pro UIM2 modified class. This is a 32-foot skater powered by two 650 horsepower United Racing engines with Mercruiser inboards. This boat is owned and driven by Alan Dunteman of Oak Brook, Illinois, and Kirk Dunteman from Fort Lauderdale is on your throttle. The Agitator race team had a very successful 1989 campaign. They finished second place overall in UIM2 on the National Series this entire season. So the Duntemans really have their act together, and this boat is running very strong. They're certainly the odds-on favorite based on their performance throughout the '89 campaign. They'll be running all day with Superhero, Terminator, Phoenix, Hot, Team Down Undies, and American Dream. So the UIM2 class promises to be very competitive also. All three classes so evenly matched, providing us all with some very exciting competitive offshore powerboat racing. The Duntemans from Oak Brook and Fort Lauderdale doing an excellent job in the Agitator race team. Now coming into the picture is Nuri Sabuchis, chairman of the board. Nuri hails from the Rochester, New York area. He had a very good '89 campaign. This 38 Cougar Cat is powered by Lamborghini inboard motors, and these Lamborghinis put out quite a bit of power. Later on, I'm sure we'll catch up with Nuri and key on him for a close-up and in-depth look at Nuri Sabuchis, chairman of the board. And now we come up, we see the boat known as Superhero. This is Yoshiro Kitami's Superhero boat. And on the outside, there you see chairman of the board. Chairman of the board and Superhero running neck and neck. That's chairman of the board going by Superhero by basically a few boat lengths at the present point in time. And that's Gentry's Turbo Eagle race team coming into the game. Right now, Gentry's Turbo Eagle, a very strong running boat, as you can see in here. He pulls up alongside Superhero, and he could be making his move on them, and he is tracking down chairman of the board. Obviously, these boats are in different levels of racing. They're in different classes. One is a super boat, and the one is an open, and one is a modified. So you have three different classes of racing, but nonetheless, all good-looking boats when they get head-to-head. Now we're coming up, and we're going to stay with M23, the boat known as Superhero. This is a 38-foot offshore marine race hull powered by two 650 horsepower C-Tech inboard racing motors with Bootsy inboard drives. Lucky Strike hanging back, Gentry and Team USA going right out, Little Caesars staying with Gentry. We've got the green flag, we've got racing. That's Lucky Strike on the inside. Gentry's Turbo Eagle on the inside, Don Johnson's Teams USA in the middle, and on the far outside it's Little Caesars Pizza. And coming into the pack, I believe that's Ricci going by on the very far outside. Now there's Fabio Bucci's Ricci boat coming by on the extreme inside. And And then there's Lucky Strike, then there's Gentry, then there's Team USA, then there's Little Caesars Pizza. An excellent start for the Superboat class right here. Now we're circled around and we're going to pick up the open start. In the picture we've got Black Thunder, Hawk Marine is there, Melons, Dollar Marine Special, Recovery, Chairman of the Board, Warrior. I see Black Thunder, and then Hawk and Melons are right there. Hawk slightly ahead, Melons in the middle of the picture. Dollar Marine Special is right there. That's Recovery on the inside, and Hawk Marine Special on the inside with a slight lead. Chairman of the Board going by on the far outside. There's Nuri Sabuchi's Chairman of the Board taking a quick lead. So you've got Chairman of the Board, Recovery, Hawk Marine Special right in your picture, and Dollar Marine Special bringing up the rear in this lead group of boats. Just as they were dueling in Wednesday's race, Stuart Haim along with Ugo Colombo in the Hawk Marine Special are once again going at it head-to-head. This is how they ended on Wednesday, and it certainly is interesting that they're beginning the same way for today's final race. They're going back and forth. And Nuri Sabuchi's Chairman of the Board is taking a lead. Stuart Haim is taking off after him, but Hawk Marine Special is hanging tough. Good bit of racing right here. Right there in your picture, it's Hawk Marine Power. This is a 35-foot all-red Jaguar powered by two 800 horsepower Mercury inboard motors with Merc SSM V outdrives. This boat is owned and driven by Ugo Colombo of Miami, Florida, and Mende Fernandez is on throttles. And Eddie Armandi is your crew chief. And that's Dollar Marine Special on the far outside coming into the ruckus right now. Dollar Marine Special charging hard, challenging Hawk Marine Special and Stuart Haim aboard Recovery. And there's your picture. That's Team USA down in the water. Don Johnson has a problem, and he is already down in the water. Tough break for him. He's out of the race. But on the far outside, that's Dollar Marine Special overtaking Recovery in the middle of your picture, headed up by Stuart Haim, and it's Ugo Colombo with Mende Fernandez aboard in Hawk Marine Power. Dollar Marine Special's motors by Richie Zool are really doing the job right now. He has come from the back, and he's in the hunt right now with Recovery and Hawk Marine Power, and he is gradually taking a slight lead, and he's trying to catch up to Chairman of the Board with Nuri Sabuchi aboard. And here they are rounding the checkpoint, heading toward the next leg of the race course. Ugo Colombo's Hawk Marine Special, Dollar Marine Special is right there, and Stuart Haim's Recovery is in the fray right now. As you can see, it is very rough. We have a rough leg in the race course, and these drivers are really experiencing some rough sea conditions right now, but nonetheless, they are making very good time. Marine Power had a second-place finish on Wednesday's race, so a good finish here will certainly be advantageous to him. And on the far outside, it's Dollar Marine Special. Dollar Marine Special had a third-place finish on Wednesday, so these two boats are running neck and neck in the points battle. And Dollar Marine Special has taken a slight lead over Hawk Marine Special. And that's Melons on the very far outside, and Warrior has joined this group of boats. We've got some excellent racing right now in this open class. I've got Warrior in the picture, Melon on the far outside, Hawk Marine Special on the inside. Dollar Marine Special has taken a slight lead. Recovery is out there with Dollar Marine Special, and Chairman of the Board is ahead of the whole group. Warrior and Melons raging a battle right now. They're going neck and neck. The Dollar Marine Special has been able to take a slight lead over those boats. You can see it's very rough. And looking back on the field, that's Melons on the outside, Warrior in the middle, engaged in an excellent battle. And then we have a close-up of Dollar Marine Special with recovery slightly ahead of them. That's chairman of the board. Dollar Marine Special has caught up to Nuri Tsubuchi's chairman of the board, and they're locked in a fierce battle. Neck and neck right now. Nuri Tsubuchi's chairman of the board on the outside, Dollar Marine Special on the inside. They've come neck and neck right now. What a great performance by Jack and Scott Herrick aboard the Dollar Marine Special. This is a 41-foot Apache, powered by two Richie Zool racing motors. This boat is owned by Jack and Scott Herrick of New York and Washington. Jack is on driving, Phil Lipschitz is on throttle, Scott Herrick is your navigator. Raina Herrick and Richie Zool make up the crew members of the Dollar Marine Special. And there you get an idea of the lead that he has taken, and that's Warriors coming into the fracas also. Phil Lipschitz doing an excellent job on throttles, and these motors by Richie Zool are performing very well for Dollar Marine Special. That's Warriors on the outside. And right there, that's Nuri Tsubuchi's chairman of the board, running neck and neck with the Melons race team. Excellent racing. We've been going for miles now, and we have a great group of boats right now locked in a very fierce competitive battle in the open seas off Key West. Special. This 41 Apache has one of the nicest paint jobs we've seen in a long time. Very innovative and a very sleek looking boat. This paint job is done by Trick Paint in Miami, Florida. The Herricks and Lipschitz in the Dollar Marine Special last raced in Trinidad in 12-foot seas to win the great race. After winning the race, the Herricks donated the $15,000 prize money back to the government of Trinidad to go to the homeless people of Trinidad. While in Trinidad, the Herricks became friends with Brian Bowen of Trinidad. Brian has raced for 20 years in the Caribbean, building almost all the boats in the race, repairing many of the boats, and organizing so many of the races besides competing every year. Brian also has raced to strong finishes many times in the world in Key West. And right there you get an idea of some of the distance between himself and some of the other boats. That's an excellent shot of these racing machines coming up the race course. That's Nuri Tsubuchi's chairman of the board. Melons is in there and Warrior in the middle of that group. What a great shot that was. The Herricks and Bowen go to race in the Dollar Special in Key West together. Tragically, Brian was killed in Trinidad 2 days before he was to be in Key West. The Dollar Marine Special is dedicating this race to Brian Bowen. The whole team will deeply miss him. And there you see the Dollar Marine Special coming around, heading past the beach toward Mallory Square. They're unofficially in first place overall right now, and this boat is charging very hard right now. The Dollar Marine Special. And coming up behind him, heading into Mallory Square, is chairman of the board. Neck and neck, these fans are being treated to some excellent racing. These motors by Zool are putting out a lot of power, as well as the Lamborghinis of Nuri Tsubuchi's chairman of the board. And he's caught up. Nuri is going by. Those Lamborghinis are flying. They're putting out so much power right now that Nuri has put this boat right down to business. He's gone by the Herricks and Dollar Marine Special, and he is taking off, leaving the Dollar Marine Special in his wake. What a run that was by Nuri Tsubuchi through Mallory Square. Those fans were treated to a great bit of racing. The Dollar Marine Special and Nuri Tsubuchi's chairman of the board. And right there, you've got an idea of just how fast those deep V's go in the calm. Where it's calm in Mallory Square, Tsubuchi came through and went by Dollar Marine Special. But out in the rough seas, the deep V does very well, as the Dollar Marine Special did in the rough seas. But on the calm, it's the cats, rough, it's the deep V. And you saw a perfect illustration of those conditions right there. Because right now, chairman of the board is flying. Listen to those Lamborghini motors. This is Nuri Sabucci and his 38-foot Cougar Cat, powered by twin 750 horsepower Lamborghini motors with Keykeeper drives. This boat is owned by Chairman Racing Corp of Rochester, New York. Nuri Sabucci is your driver, and Harold Stepp from Miami, Florida is on throttles, the chairman of the board racing team, and right now he is on fire. He is definitely dominating right now, and he is running very aggressively. Nuri took a fourth on Wednesday, and with a good finish here today, he could be your overall champion for this week of racing in Key West. Nuri Sabucci's chairman of the board, lighting it up right now. Lamborghini power, just listen to it. Stepp doing an excellent job of throttling these Lamborghinis. On the far outside, that's Mellons. Oh, what a jump that was. Almost looked like he was going to go over. Very tough jump right there. But they are able to hang tough and hang right in there. Mellons having a tough bounce right there, but nonetheless back on course. And now we're coming up on Warrior. Warrior is in a duel with chairman of the board. Nuri looked tough to catch, but Warrior is also running very strong. And he got off to an excellent start, and he's running with Hawk Marine Power, who we saw at the start, and Mellons, who is on the outside. This boat is Warrior D25. It's a 41-foot Apache powered by two 740 horsepower United Racing motors with Mercury drives. This boat is owned by Philip DiPasquale of Miami, Florida. Orlando Gomez is your driver. Rolando Piega is on throttles, and Jorge Diaz is your navigator. Crew chief Brad Halpin, all from Miami. And everyone would like to extend a very special thanks to Philip DiPasquale for making this all happen, the Warrior race team. They had a 5th place finish on Wednesday. So with a top finish here today, with the points being doubled, that can certainly put Warrior in a very advantageous place to finish in the Pro Open class here today. Philip DiPasquale's Warrior race team. Rolando Piega is doing an excellent job on the throttles. And these United Racing motors are responding quite nicely. The Warrior race team having a great run here today at the Bud Light Battle on the Seas in Key West, Florida. Mellons coming through the Mallory Square part of the race course. These boats really get to go. He's on his way through and out, heading back out towards the open race course. Mellons race team. Mellons race team. This is a familiar name on a different hull that we're accustomed to seeing. We'll explain that in a minute. But the boat right now, Mellons, is an all-white, sleek, cigarette race hull powered by twin Mercury 800 horsepower inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned by Ugo Colombo. Driving today is Ed Shear, John Tomlinson is on throttles, and Robert Gallen is the navigator. We're more accustomed to seeing the black catamaran known as Mellons. but due to some difficulties Ed Shear had at the beginning of the week, he was not able to run his boat, and he was forced to lease this boat from Ugo Colombo to be in today's race under the banner of Mellons. Ugo Colombo also is the owner of Hawk Marine Power that he's running today with Mandy Fernandez as his throttle man. So Ugo is a busy man this week here in Key West. But right now, Ed Shear is doing a great job with this Mellons race boat. It's not the boat that they're accustomed to running, but nonetheless, they are doing a very good job here today. Mellons is in a tight battle with Ugo Colombo's Hawk Marine Power and Recovery at this present point in time. Mellons was unable to start on Wednesday's leg, so he is in a tough position right now. But being the sportsman and competitor that he is, he'd like to have a very good run here today just to show what he's all about. Ed Shear's Mellons race team, a great champion and a good driver. Ed Shear, being the true champion that he is, has certainly had a busy week here. He's been driving the Assault team in the semi-pro class. He ran Wednesday morning, and he ran here today in the Assault race team, and now he's aboard his own boat, Mellons. So Ed has been a very busy competitor here this whole week, and he's doing a great job. Ed Shear's Mellons race team having a very fine run here today as he's locked in a battle with Hawk Marine Power and the Recovery race team. From Key West, Florida, it's Ed Shear's Mellons race team. And now we come up on boat number 98, KC Aerospace. They had a third place finish on Wednesday, so they're really looking to do well here today also. This is a 39-foot express race hull powered by two 750 horsepower CNG Marine inboards with Merc Cruiser number 4 drives. This boat is owned and driven by Dan Campbell of Kansas City, Missouri. Paul Churchill is his navigator, and on Plattles we've got Randy Garcia. They would like to extend a very special thanks to CNG Marine and KNC Aerospace. KNC Aerospace is an FAA overhaul facility for commercial aircraft, and they do an excellent job. And Dan Campbell would like to extend a very special thanks to them for all that they've done to help out the KC Aerospace race team. Right now, they're in a battle with some of the lead boats. Lucky Strike, Ricci are all in there. In Excess, Gentry Turbo Eagle having a very good run, as well as In Excess right now. And Ricci is a little down in power, but he is still running very well. KC Aerospace looking very good right now. Already out of the race is Team USA, Jaguar Marine, and Fountain. Tough break for Don Johnson. Very disappointing weekend for him here in Key West, but he is out of the race. Little Caesars Pizza has also dropped out of the race. So we're basically down to 5 boats in the super boat class in the pro division. So it's really up for grabs, and it's anyone's race. KC Aerospace looking very good right now. Third place finish Wednesday, so they'd love nothing more than to improve upon that in today's race. Nice shot of In Excess as it goes under Paul Barth from Biscayne Helicopter. Getting into view for Jeff Girardi, our head cameraman. Boat number 96, In Excess. This sleek 47-foot multicolored Apache race hull is powered by 3 850 horsepower CNG Marine inboards with Key Keffer outdrives. This boat is owned by John Garrett from Wayne, Pennsylvania, who is also doing the driving. Navigating, we have Bob Shaddett, and on throttles, it's Ralph Martin, the In Excess race team. In Excess had a 4th place finish in Wednesday's first leg of the race, and right now they're running very strong with Gentry's Turbo Eagles and Fabio Buzzi's Ricci Racing. So with a good finish here today, they will definitely be in the top 3 finishes, which would be a great accomplishment for John Garrett's In Excess race team. Right now they're looking very strong, running very consistent in the super boat class here today. John Garrett's In Excess race team looking very good. They're looking very strong right now. This boat is sounding better and better. These C&G Marine inboards are really doing the job, and Ralph Martin on throttles is really putting it through the paces right now. They're trying to catch up to Tom Gentry and Charlie Marks, Gentry's Turbo Eagle, but they are holding off Fabio Buzzi's Ritchie, and they are ahead of Lucky Strike and KC Aerospace, who we've already seen. From Key West, Florida, having a very good run, it's John Garrett's In Excess race team. Now we're coming up to boat number 10. Fabio Buzzi's Ritchie is a 50-foot FB design race hull powered by 4 760 horsepower C-Tech racing inboards with Fabio Buzzi design drive systems. And there you see a crack on the port side of that boat, right at the bend there on the side. That could be a problem for them. We'll have to wait and see how that goes, but he has a crack right there. You can see it in the hull of that boat. There's a close-up look of that. That is some of the punishment and pain that these race hulls take in the open seas of racing. And this boat is certainly wounded right now, and they might have to realize this and certainly come off speed a little bit. Fabio Buzzi is your owner and driver of this boat from Como, Italy. And Ari Nitina is on throttles from Argentina. There's a close-up look of that crack in that race hull. That is certainly a problem for them. Let's hope that that boat does not sink, because with a crack like that, it is certainly an open hole for water to come right on in. So I'll have to hope for the best there. Fabio Buzzi, certainly a world-renowned figure in the sport of offshore powerboat racing. He's done so much for the sport of offshore powerboat racing throughout the world. He is a celebrity all over Europe in this sport, and whenever he comes here to the United States, he has so many fans. Fabio Buzzi's Ritchie race team. He's certainly an innovator in this sport. And as you can see, they are coming off plane. Tough break for Fabio Buzzi's. And that's KC Aerospace, who has had a problem. That boat is partially underwater, as you can see. It's mostly underwater. The crew members are hanging out on the bow of the boat right now. Rescue copters and medical crews are already there. Very quick response. Everyone is okay. We have no injuries there, so that is very fortunate for KC Aerospace. They are out of the race, but they are safe and sound. Now we come up on a very interesting looking boat, the boat known as Superhero. M23 Superhero. It's a 38 offshore marine powered by twin 650 horsepower C-Tech motors with Fabio Buzzi drive systems. Superhero had a first place on Wednesday's race, and they're looking very good right now. They're running in first place, holding off Phoenix in the UIM2 class. This boat is owned by Yoshiro Kitami from Honolulu, Hawaii, who also does the driving. Brett Archer is on throttles, and your navigator is Mark Russell. Crew members, Brett Archer, Mark Russell, Stephen Carr, Jim Montner, and Craig Poole help out on the maintenance of the throttles. Superhero is running the boat that won the 1989 UIM2 World Championship in Atlantic City this past year. It was manufactured by Offshore Marine in Italy and uses Fabio Buzzi drive systems. Superhero is the only American flag boat using diesel engines. It is a production boat available from Superhero Boat Manufacturing in Honolulu, Hawaii. Kieran Beer. This is a 42-foot Arasaki Shipyard Limited. It is powered by two 750 horsepower Haron inboard motors with Merc Cruiser drives. This boat is owned by Shigeru Hojo of Yokosuka City, Kanagawa. He is also your driver. On navigating, we've got Steve Thomas from Bricktown, New Jersey, and on throttles, we've got Kurt Berger from Bricktown, New Jersey also, and of Kurtz Marine fame. This boat is out of Kurtz Marine, was also responsible for Second to None, who was your A-Class World Champ, Shockwave, Alliance, second in the Northeast, Finish Line, second in the Northeast, Team Hydra is the Northeastern National Champ, Lucky Strike, and Wheels of Fortune. All high-performance race boats coming out of the Kurtz Marine Boatyard, who's done a fine job in maintaining and rigging so many high-performance race boats, and this is another one that is added to his stable of winners. It's straight man Kieran Beer, headed up by Shirigo Hojo. They had a 6th place finish on Wednesday, so obviously they need to do much better than that, have one of the top 3 finishes today to hopefully put them in a good position in the Pro Open class here today. We'll have to wait and see what happens, because right now they are not running with the lead pack. They're running with Recovery right now, who you saw was down on power. But this class is still being taken on by Chairman of the Board, Warrior, Hawk Marine Power are still in it, along with Mellons. The attrition rate is high. Little Caesars Pizza's out. Team USA. Tusty and Black Thunder is out, along with Dollar Marine Special. And on the inside, that's Phoenix with Kieran on the outside. So Kieran on the outside going by Phoenix. Phoenix is locked in a duel with Superhero, who we saw earlier on. They were running very strong, so Phoenix has its work cut out for them. Team Down Undies, Terminator, American Dream are all out of it. The Agitator has fallen off the pack. Hot is falling off the pack. So the attrition is very high right now. There's many openings for some of the boats who are drawing to a close right now with a strong finish. So a lot of things are still open and up for grabs. And we are going to be charging for the final leg through Mallory Square and our start-finish line. But right here is the boat M6 Phoenix. It's a 32-foot superboat powered by 4 225 horsepower Mercury outboard motors. This boat is owned by Ed Ryan of Bayshore, New York, who is doing the throttles, and Richie Bonanno of New York, New York is your driver today. This boat is maintained by East Coast Marine in the New York area. M6 Phoenix Race Team. He had a 4th place finish on Wednesday, so a good finish here today could put Phoenix in a good final position to finish out this week of racing. Plus, so many other boats are already out of the UIM2 class that just by finishing in a good position could put someone in the top 3 finishers here today. Phoenix and Kieran are dueling right now. However, Kieran is in your open class, Phoenix in his UIM2. Here you get an up-close look at that cockpit of Ed Ryan and Richie Bonanno doing the job that they have to do in piloting this boat. And they're coming up on Kieran Beer and charging hard. These boats are in their final lap as they're starting to head around the beach, and soon they'll be going through Mallory Square to take this checkered flag at the start-finish line, and then we'll be compiling all our results. Phoenix is putting it down right now. We're going to stay with these two boats as they're going to round the point, head on into Mallory Square, where they'll be taking their final lap, and that'll be it. So we're going to stay with these boats as they head toward the start-finish line. There you see Phoenix starting to inch ahead of Kieran Beer right now, and they're going to come out through Mallory Square and put those throttles all the way down and book it toward the start-finish line. So we're going to stay with these boats as they head toward the checkered flags, start-finish line, final gun right here. And after that, we'll be compiling all the results, and we'll try to bring you the final results in just moments of the 1989 Bud Light Key West Battle on the Seas. Phoenix is cranking it. They've got this boat aired out right now. Ed Ryan's got the throttles pegged all the way down. They're going all out through Mallory Square, and it's a great day of racing for them. They're finishing very strong as they come into Mallory Square. So in just moments, we'll be bringing you the final results of today's